everyone, it's Kim, 10 Little Canvases. Doing my very first on-screen video. And the reason I'm doing that is because I would like to address a couple of comments that were left on some of my demonstrations. And these people felt that my videos were too long. I believe one person even said that they couldn't finish the video. And I would like to say that I appreciate those people's opinions. I do realize that not everybody has 20 to 30 minutes to sit through a demonstration. But I would like to say that it might be helpful if people understood why I don't do 2 and 3 minute nail demonstration videos. This all really stems from when I first got into nail art, and pretty much everything that I could find on the internet, YouTube, well, 2, 3, 4 minute videos. You were lucky if they were any longer than that. You were lucky if anybody talked during them to tell you about the techniques or whatever steps that they were doing in the videos. So I just kind of came away frustrated and feeling like I really needed some more information. So that was my main goal when I started my channel. I wanted my videos to be almost like mini nail art classes. I wanted to provide the information that I wasn't getting from other videos. So what you'll see in my videos is pretty much, new techniques I'm learning, any experimentation that I've done, good or bad, whether it's worked or not, any products that I've used that I like, products that I'm using for a particular technique that I think work best. And the main thing too is I like to anticipate questions that people might have regarding whatever I might be showing in the video. Questions that I would probably have myself if I was watching. So I like to anticipate those and address those in the video because, like we said, not everybody has time to either watch a lengthy video and to also ask questions because something wasn't answered during the demonstration. So that's why my videos tend to be a little lengthy. And keep in mind too, I'm not a professional editor. So whatever I'm doing as far as that goes, I'm learning. I'm teaching myself as well, just like I taught myself the nail art. So I try to do my best, and I will continue to try and do my best. But I don't see for the foreseeable future that my videos will get any shorter. And that's mainly because I'm learning more and more, in-depth or more complicated or difficult techniques. And I feel that those take a little bit more explanation and more time to show on screen than maybe 2 or 3 minutes would allow. So with that in mind, I want to start putting a timeline in the beginning of each video that will direct people to the particular spot in the video where they could jump to, whichever they find more interesting, and hopefully that they will find that helpful. And finally, I just want to say I truly, truly appreciate every person who stops by my channel, takes the time to watch what I humbly put out there, because it's a passion of mine. I hope people find it helpful. I hope they can take away something from this that they found helpful. And yeah, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for subscribing. And with that, we'll go ahead and get started with our demonstration. All right, so for this demonstration, I will show how to do the rosebuds, the full rose, the lace look, and also some leaves, some green leaves. Now you don't have to do the green leaves, as in this one I've done, you can't see them from this angle unfortunately, but there's a tone-on-tone leaf up there in the upper right hand corner. So you don't necessarily have to do green ones if you don't like. Now, in the previous video I showed how to use this carving gel to make the marbled stone. Now we're not going to use that for this particular technique for the roses. We're going to use the Crystal Nails lace gel. I'll be using peach and white, and I'll also show you how to do a custom color. This is, in my opinion, a better product to use. It almost has like a powdery, soft feel to it. It doesn't get sticky like that Afer one does from China. So that's the better product I believe to use for this. Now, this art gel by Crystal Nails is a very, very thick pigmented gel that I'll be using to create a custom color. So we'll get started with taking a little bit of our peach. Now, it would be helpful if you have a spatula on hand for this to scoop your gel out of your pots. I'm going to take enough that I am going to divide that about half, and we're going to combine that with another color. So we'll take maybe a little less than half, and I'm going to create our pink, our slightly darker pink color. Just get a little bit more of the gel here. Now, if you're going to create custom colors by using a gel paint, just be sure that you don't add too much. You don't need a lot, especially if these are super pigmented like the Crystal Nails art gels are. You won't need a lot. Just a tiny amount is enough to change the color. So you can see that is not a lot of color to start with. You always want to start with less than you think that you'll need, so you're not wasting product. And I'm just going to use my spatula to fold in that color, almost like you're kneading dough. I'll add a little bit more to intensify the color a little bit. And there we have our pink. And again, I'll take a little bit of that peach, and we're going to create our light peach tonal color. All right, so there are the three colors that we'll be working with for this particular rose design. And in addition to a spatula, having some type of needle dotting tool will be helpful. Also a 3D art brush, also called a cat tongue. You'll need one of these to shape your petals with. I'm using the Crystal Nails Mini 3D brush. Now, the success of this is using the tap water like I just showed you there. But you will need some alcohol, especially when we start doing our lace design. You'll need the alcohol when we start to manipulate the gel there. But for our petals and our rose, the tap water is what you'll be using. So on my sample nail here, I'm going to show, I've had a lot of people ask me how I did the iridescent look. So for this, I did one coat of True Honesty, and I wanted to lighten that up just a little bit. So over that, I'm putting one coat of Fairy Dust by Le Chat. And I'm not going to cure this. That wet layer is what I'm going to apply the flakies into. I'm using the Lumiere color from, I got these off of Etsy, I believe. I'll leave a link to them down below. This is called Phoenix Opal. I did like this because it has a beautiful pink, blue, purple, gold. Now over that, I'm going to put a coat of Matte Top Coat by Koopa. And there you have your subtle iridescent flakies. Using our spatula, I'm going to make a rosebud. And for our first one, I'll pick up just a little bit of each color. You don't need a lot. About that much of each color. So this is about the size that you want to start with. You can go larger, but depending on the size of your finished rose that you want, you might not want your initial ball to be too large. So I'm using the tap water. I'm placing a little bit on the back of my hand. I'm dipping that 3D brush again in the tap water. I'm not blotting it. The water does help prevent the gel from sticking to your skin and the brush. And then you're just going to lift up that edge and you're going to slowly roll that piece until you get your rosebud. Now this is a more tightly wound bud, and I'll show you here in just a moment a couple that I've done that aren't quite as tightly wound. You'll also see the difference on when you're flattening out your piece. If you have a wider piece, you're going to have a taller rosebud. So keep that in mind whenever you're making your initial rosebuds. If you want your flower to sit up higher, then you'll flatten out your initial piece into a wider piece. Now, if you don't have one of these, it certainly is helpful to have one of these little handheld LED lights. I can get an initial cure on them right at first, and then I will get my spatula and place that into the LED lamp to get a full cure on that. So there's our rosebud out of the lamp. Now here's another one that I did that isn't as tightly wound, and here's a peach one. So I'm going to start with these 3 rosebuds to begin with, and now we're ready to start creating our petals. We're going to place our rosebud on the nail, and then we'll start placing our petals around that bud. I'm going to be using First Gel's Jam Gel. No sticky layer. That's the nice thing about this. This seems like a good spot to put our first one. Go ahead and cure that, and now we're ready to start making our petals. The center, I'm starting with the darker color, so I'm going to take a little bit of the pink and the peach. I'm going to roll that around slightly just to get those colors to meld a little bit. Put a little bit of tap water on the back of my hand. I'm going to roll it into this shape right here. You want it a little bit fatter in the middle and skinnier on the ends. I'm going to take that brush and I'm going to flatten out. I'm going to start in the center, flatten it out to where it's not quite pointed, but pointier than the ends are, into a petal shape. Now keep in mind, the thinner you make that edge, the more delicate your flower is going to be. I'm going to pick up our petal and into the jam gel that I placed on that bud, I'm going to carefully wrap that around. You don't want to manipulate the gel too much. It's easy to distort it if you're not careful, so carefully place. And then if you want to pull out the edge a little bit, you can go ahead and do that. And now that's ready to cure. Again, using my handheld light, I'll go ahead and get an initial cure just to get it to stick, and then once I'm finished with everything, I'll do a full cure in the lamp. Now, if you're concerned about using the gel on your skin, go ahead and on a nonstick surface, I'm working on a silicone mat. You can put your water down on the silicone mat and roll out your pieces on that. Any kind of nonstick surface should work. We'll place our jam gel down and continue placing our petals. Now again, the thinner that you do your petals, the more realistic it is going to look. However, it is delicate. This gel is not quite as, the thinner that you get it, the less strong it will be. It's not like acrylic in that respect. This would be perfect for a special occasion, maybe for wedding nails, something that somebody might not want to or need to wear more than a couple of days. I don't know that this would really last for a couple of weeks on a manicure, a full rose. That's why on my own manicure I just did the rosebuds. And those have held up perfectly for over 2 weeks now. So we've got our inner darker petals, and now we're placing our lighter petals. So I'm using the peach and the mid-tone peach and the light tone peach. And again, you'll just keep forming your petals and placing them around the rose till you get your desired size. Now, since this rose is going to be a slightly smaller one off to the side, we're going to use less of the gel to form our smaller petals. And just continue on. Same technique as the large one. All right, now we're going to go ahead and add some of the green leaves. For this, I did use these two colors, the number 18 and I believe that was a number 10 color. For these, it's just a tiny, tiny amount that you'll be taking. I kind of squished those around a little bit to meld the colors a little. Again, using the tap water, I'm going to press that into the leaf shape. I'm going to add that to our rose with a little jam gel. And then cure that in place. And I'll just continue to add the leaves. Now next up, we're going to show the it's another type of lace design. I'm going to use the lightest peach color. We'll use about this much, and we're going to form a small rope section here. I'm going to place that onto the nail. And this is where you'll use the alcohol if you need to. Just barely wet your brush, and we're going to flatten that out onto the nail. And I'm using the needle dotting tool, and you're basically just going to make Swiss cheese out of this lace gel. It kind of helps to kind of move it around a little bit and kind of pick it up to where it's not even looking. I think it has a more interesting appearance that way. And I did the other side off camera, and now we're adding our gems. These are, what are these? These are the pink opal Swarovski, and I've got the rose gold micro beads from Crystal Nails, and there is our completed rose design. Complete with leaves and gems. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the demonstration. You can see here you can adjust the size of the rose. It's more showy and flashy there on the left on the longer nail, and smaller on the right. You can put the bigger rose on top, the smaller on bottom. It just depends on what you would like to do. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the demonstration. If you did, go ahead and like and subscribe. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below for me. Check the info section down below as well for any products that I used here. I will link those down there. And as always, thank you for stopping by, and until next time, I will see you guys later.